Welcome to the Sykes & Company PA video blog featuring Olin Sykes.
It's 2016 and pharmacy margins are tighter than ever. What are some of the latest gross margin expansion ideas that you've come across?
The single most important aspect of operating your pharmacy is how well you buy. Let me repeat that. How well you buy the items that you will resell in your pharmacy. And it amazes me sometimes to see pharmacists on the other end of a video call when I'm speaking to them or talking to them or talking with them on a video call, that they're trying to deal with one of the national wholesalers or one of the regional wholesalers themselves direct. And they might be a mid-sized pharmacy. And what they don't realize is they don't have typically the buying power or the clout to really get the best pricing. And when pricing and how well you buy is the single most important issue to increasing your gross margin, notwithstanding your net income pre-tax on the bottom line, then I've seen situations where 1 to 5 percentage points are left on the bottom line by their lack of knowledge about how to go about finding the options that are out there for purchasing. And you might say, if you're watching this video, how do I do that? Well, first of all, you talk with your peers. You talk with people that you know in the industry. You want to talk with multiple buying groups because the buying group is the typical first line of defense that are put together to coordinate major contracts with some of the national leading pharmacy wholesalers. And sometimes there are thousands of stores that are in these contracts that these buying groups have with these national wholesalers. And you essentially get the benefit of their expertise and their long-term contracts sometimes that they are able to get to get these favorable buying conditions. In a lot of cases, with generics being a hot item today as they are, a lot of times the generic rebates are substantially larger going through these buying groups than they are, again, going directly with the major wholesalers or regional wholesalers one might be looking at. So really the takeaway here is that you need to spend some time and effort talking, going to the trade shows, the national trade shows, going to the NCPA convention, places of this nature to talk with these buying groups, to see what's out there, to see what your options are. And not all buying groups want you as a potential pharmacy. I will tell you that. Some of them are very selective about who they will bring on board as a new pharmacy because a lot of that depends on whether you an independent retailer doing long-term care, whether you're doing 340B, whether you are in the specialty in any way, whether you're in the hospice. I mean, all types of subsections of pharmacy that some buying groups have specialties in, and without really talking, finding out, being exposed at the trade shows and at your conventions that you can attend, and by talking to all these various parties involved, even just starting with a basic Google. And if you Google pharmacy buying groups, you'll come up with probably the top 10 list of who you probably need to take 3 or 4 or 5 of those and be talking to. And each one of those probably has a separate contract with one of the national vendors. And again, they can buy far better than you can. And that would be my number one gross margin expansion issue right there is buy right. And if you're not buying right, you're giving up money on the bottom line.
Thank you for joining us today. If you want more information or have any questions, please feel free to contact Olin directly.